the video that I filmed was a bunch of clips from when I went to Second Chance Animal Center one day and with my dog, and he got to meet 2 other dogs. And it's basically my story of how we adopted him and what he was like when we got home. And there's some like photos. It might not be perfect, but it's I did my best with that. So
That's good.
yeah.
Let
And
it roll.
when a dog gets adopted, he or she will transform from a scared shelter dog who got dumped there into a happy, healthy, lovable dog that will follow you absolutely everywhere once they arrive home. My dog Eclipse is a great example of a dog who has been adopted. We got him 2 weeks ago from Second Chance Animal Center. This is a really good animal shelter in Arlington, Vermont. When he saw us in the visiting room for the first time, he just jumped into my lap and wouldn't move. He had found a loving family at last. When we brought him home, of course, we had to get him into our car. He was unsure about this big step. My mother and I sat with him in the back so he wouldn't get scared. We were so happy that he already seemed to love us. When he met our cat, that was another story. They were scared of each other. Now we have a 2-year-old mini golden doodle who is just so clingy and lovable that we decided we would train him to be my emotional support dog. When we took him home, he didn't want to sleep alone at my sister's room. He wanted to sleep with my mom on the bed. We learned quickly that we had to keep him in the crate that was sent home with us. We also had to put the laundry basket in front of us so he wouldn't jump on my bed, however much I wanted him to sleep there. We are getting out to the dog park regularly as well to give him that extra bit of energy and meet and get used to other dogs. We found out that he used to live in a barn with his brothers and sisters and his mother. I don't know if he had ever been inside an actual house ever. He was also surrendered by Second Chance because he apparently wasn't breedable, since his original owners thought he wasn't hypoallergenic. That was sad, but at least he got to go to our good home. He is sweet now, and I couldn't imagine life without him.
The video you and Caitlin made together.
Not this one. I don't want this one. Okay. Well, my name's Gabs. Caitlin and I worked on this project. It's about the SVC closing, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Make it full screen.
In 1910, Edward Everett bought 500 acres of farmland from the John S. Holden estate. Everett constructed a mansion on the property which would later become Southern Vermont College. Southern Vermont College aspires to be a model of an enlightened educational community, diverse, supportive, environmentally respectful, and socially responsible. The college has grown to have faculty that have been here for over 30 years and offer a variety of degrees and has 12 NCAA Division III athletic teams.
So
I'm Jenny Dunning, and I have been an adjunct or part-time teacher at SVC for 4 years now. I was entirely shocked. In retrospect, I shouldn't have been, but I felt like the college was doing things, making investments in the future. For instance, we got the Adobe Cloud subscription for this course. And because of that, I was completely unprepared for it. To tell you the truth, I have no idea. I've just been focusing. I've been focusing on trying to make this the best semester of teaching ever for my students and for myself, because it's so meaningful to me, the relationship I have with these students. And so I really have just been putting all my energy into that. I feel like I'm never going to have a job, and have never had a job that I love as much as this one. There's something that the relationship between students and professors, between the students, it's such a sense of community, and to watch students over the years that I've known them just blossom into these intellectuals. It's so inspiring to see how hard students work here, how hard faculty work. So I feel like that I'm in my late 50s and I finally find the job I really love, and now it's no more. So I guess just this empty hole is what I'm going to be taking with me. All the little videos, but I just wanted to give a taste of what we were able to do using the Cat TV studio, and we're so grateful for Ryan Scott's help at Cat TV. He showed us the equipment, showed us how to edit, showed us how to put it together, just everything, and borrow the equipment. He really was great.
So this video is basically kind of like a promotional video for El Salvador, where I'm from, where my family's from. So it's kind of like a little teaser of like why you should visit El Salvador, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
I love my country. I love El Salvador because I live and feel this land. El Salvador is one of the greatest countries in the world. You'll have to put your foot on it to understand. I have a great story. The fight of the sea and volcanoes in Central America have converted me into who I am. My heart is great, vital, and strong. No one can ever stop me, because this is the tireless engine that beats to the rhythm of my people. My people are fighters and generous that will always give you their everything in every moment. One thing that makes El Salvador different is our hospitality and our honesty, but most importantly, our desire to share our culture. I am one of the millions of Salvadorians who wake up every morning with the mindset of growth. To grow as a person, to grow as a country, to show the world what we're made of. We are El Salvador. Discover us.
So me and Dre my name's Ryan, by the way. We wanted to do a video with our coaches, just since we're athletes, and wanted to get their perspective on like the school closing. So here you go.
My name is Adam Skidecki. I'm the head baseball coach at Southern Vermont College, and this is my second season at Southern Vermont. My initial reaction of the closure was, shock and disappointment. We had found a home here, my family and I, and not to mention the 20-some-odd players that I called my own as well. We were extremely disappointed, and we thought that the news was rather quick. And we wanted to build something here, both athletically and also get these students' lives on track to graduate and to continue their careers in the business world or nursing, whatever it may be. And we were really excited to work with these kids for 3, 4, 5 more years. But unfortunately, there were some unfortunate circumstances. Sure. For me personally, it's to find a new job, and whether it's in the baseball industry or something else, I'd love for me to stay in coaching. I love coaching. I love trying to impact 18 to 22-year-olds' lives, and for the better, And initially, my first thought was to make sure we take care of all of our players, which we had, I think, 15 kids coming back for their next season, and that still is my first goal, is to make sure that we find each kid a place to graduate and get their degree from, so they can be successful in life. So for me, the main thing is to make sure we find these 24 student athletes a new place to call home. I think without a doubt, my favorite aspect of Southern Vermont College is just the family atmosphere. It's such a unique college, it's such a unique place. You get so close to not only the students, but the professors, the community. There's not a place that's like this too much. And unfortunately, I was in the same circumstances when I was at the University of Buffalo before I took the job here at Southern Vermont, where they cut the baseball program. And going from a big school of 40,000 people to a smaller school with closer to 400, 500 students and faculty, I wasn't sure how it was going to be or how close-knit everyone was. And I think that's such a unique thing Southern Vermont brings to the table. That's going to be what I miss the most, absolutely.
My name is Deshaun Hamlet, assistant men's basketball coach. I've been in the community about 5.5 years. Play basketball, business and sports management major. I also work in the community also. I was heartbroken. SVC is more like a family. Coming from Connecticut, not having a lot of family up here, and definitely meeting a couple of friends and longtime friends, it definitely was a shock. Just continue working. Got a full-time job right now, so it's pretty good. It's family-oriented, and the scenery, really. Scenery, family, not knowing a lot of people, and meeting some of my teammates, and now they're long brothers, actually going to one of their weddings pretty soon, so it's definitely pretty cool.
Multimedia, though, it's a 15-minute long.
Yeah, so what do you want to just show a little bit of it to kind of give the flavor?
Sure.
You give us a little flavor. Give us a flavor. So,
Acid profile.
yeah, really, yeah, for sure. Cheese, and cheese. Cheese is good. Any cheese. All the cheese. Yeah. You'll see why I told people to read the baseball cap on the wall.
Yeah. All right, so this is just me, and this is my multimedia project. It's just me and my coach and friend, Tyler Arthur. He just talks about mental health. He was big on that this year. And he had us do yoga and all this stuff, just, mentally prepared for for games. So hope you enjoy. And we're back. So I'm Ryan Serrato. This is Ryan's Talk. Here to join me is Tyler Arthur. Brought to you by Poland Springs Sports Water.
Secret sauce.
The secret sauce. So today's topic is something that hits everyone at home, and this topic, kind of goes along with our setting right here too, is mental health at a college institution where athletics, you got concussions and all that, and then even on the actual mental side of things with college, it's just all the stress of homework and especially in our situation, the school's closing down, so that adds a little more troubling things. But Tyler's here to talk about the positive, so go for it.
Yeah, well, first of all, Ryan, thanks for having me on your podcast.
Anytime.
This is, I feel honored to be the first guest. I'm sure, in a couple of years I'll be able to come back and really see the upscale in production.
If I still got a phone.
But yeah, like you said, I just wanted to come in and thanks for the opportunity to talk about mental health. Obviously, coming from a coaching background, having mental health on your team is a big, strong component of being successful. But even more so, just being in college and being a college student at one point in my life, understanding the stress of college, especially in the springtime semester, and especially around this time with about a month to go before graduation, even less if I'm not mistaken, maybe 2 weeks.
I think 2 weeks.
Yeah. So probably the height of anxiety on this campus. Not to mention, like you said, the throw in the fact that the school's closing and people worried about getting into their next school, probably something that they never envisioned having to, a battle that they never thought that they would have to face or overcome again once they made their original decision to attend a college in the first place. But, on the topic of mental health, I think it's important that first we recognize that it's a part of everyone's life, like stress, anxiety, the fear of the unknown and the fear of having to deal with what you seem as uncontrollable in your own life. And, that's something that everybody on this campus is experiencing, and it's something that everyone in life in general experiences it. And I think what the big difference is in terms of people who handle it correctly and do not is just their mind frame about going about how they can deal with stress, or what their idea and definition of what stress even is. For example, you may have stress in the classroom, a paper that you didn't expect to have to write, or a certain amount of citations within that paper that you weren't expecting, or just difficulty in finding them. Or, for example, yesterday, we've got a great group of guys on the baseball team that in the later part of the innings of the game, which they probably, and I certainly thought we would win, things didn't go in our favor. A couple balls land this way, a couple calls were made this way, that way, and we ended up losing the game. And so that's obviously a stressor, a major stressor on those guys' lives that was just kind of thrown onto them without them asking for it. Obviously, when you go and you play the game of baseball, you understand at some point someone's going to take that ball out of your hand. But the fashion that we did lose yesterday was heartbreaking for those guys, and too, just knowing that it is coming to an end is hard to deal with. So I think the thing that, mental health, one thing that we can do about it is just try to combat it with a positive mind frame and understand that we're not alone in any certain battle, whether that be anxiety or fear, self-doubt, or anything like that. And something that I think is often overlooked, or something that I overlooked a lot as a young adult in college, was the importance of nutrition and the importance of sleep, and just having your body recovered and taken care of well physiologically, so that little things that get thrown throughout our day, curveballs if you will, of obstacles that we have to overcome or sidestep, or just deal with face to face, can really help by having a good foundation nutritionally.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've seen that. If you guys do not know out there, I went to college beforehand with this guy. He weighed probably 50 more pounds than I did. No, I'm kidding. He's always been in decent shape. But, after college, he's kind of grown. I don't know, he's kind of got that old man beard, a little more wisdom. So, he's just really in tune with his mentality and his body. Body-wise, I think I have a sexy body, but he likes to say that he has one.
Everyone likes their own thing.
Yes. That's what I was going to do.
But yeah, no, I thank you, Ryan. That was certainly a unique compliment. But no, I think another thing too, besides just having a strong, nutritional foundation for your body is, and the reason I say that is because of just research and experiences that I've had myself with, digestive issues because of stress. Stress has the ability to not only affect how you sleep, but, the rate at which you metabolize certain micronutrients, the bioavailability of other micronutrients within your body. Like I mentioned before, sleep, which sleep regulates, your ability to recover from everything, even the stress that you're dealing with. So if we're stressed out, we're not eating well, and we're not getting sleep, not only is that going to increase more, it's not going to combat any of the stress that we have, but it's not going to relieve any of it either. So you're almost just doubling down on your own stress. And when you are stressed, you want to eat foods that aren't healthy for you. I don't know very many people that get super stressed and crave like a kale salad, Usually, it's a good burger and some fries, it's comfort food, if you will. Everyone likes their own thing, but sweets in general.
Craving kale salad, craving the Mexican restaurant. So.
Taquitos.
Kale.
But yeah, and so I think it's important. And I don't think many people, especially our faculty.
Disclaimer.
So this is kind of just a video that I put together. It's a compromise of a bunch of videos that I have of me and my friends over the last couple of years. Most of it is from this year, but just something I threw together, just having fun. The purpose of this video was to show that even though, I'll explain it in the video, but to show even though the SVC is closing down, it doesn't mean that the memories and connections that we made here are finished. They still exist even after SVC closes. So. When I first heard about the school closing, it was definitely a shock. It was more so a shock for me because I would have never expected, in a million years for a school like SVC to close down, because it's always been a small and private institution. And it hurt at first. I didn't know, where I would go in 10 years and say, and tell my kids this is where I went to school, or go to an alumni reunion, alumni party, something like that. I didn't know, if the history of SVC would still be here. And, after some time has passed, I've come to accept it. Part of the purpose of this video was to just compile some of the great times and memories I've had with some of my teammates and friends since I've been here at SVC. But another reason that I wanted to do this video was to show you all that just because the building isn't here anymore doesn't mean that the people aren't there anymore, that the memories aren't there, that everything that you experienced and enjoyed and loved about SVC is still here. Honestly, don't even get me started on Damon. I don't know how many times I can tell you I kicked his ass in the locker room. This is just, part of a glimpse of what I did to him.
Okay, so this is my interview project that I did with Georgia. She is one of my close friends, but I also thought she would make a very good interviewee because her dad works at the school, and she is also going to be affected by the closure because she, has to find a new school to go to, and she's now going to finish up at MCLA. But I just thought it kind of gave a different perspective from something, and maybe something that the average person in the community doesn't realize how it affects every single person. So it definitely hits you in the feels a little bit, but it's really good, and she did a great job.
So my name is Georgia. I have been at SVC now for about 2 years. I started in the spring semester of 2017 as a communications major, and then I aptly changed my major to be a history and politics. But my dad started working here as a professor roughly like 4 to 5 years ago. So I come from a really weird perspective just because not only am I a student, I'm also the daughter of a professor. So selfishly, I was concerned that I wasn't going to be able to graduate as I needed 2 or 3 classes to take over the summer, and I needed to figure out how the hell I was going to manage to do that. But I was really terrified for my family. We're a big family and it's almost impossible for us to survive on one income. So I was really worried about what this was going to mean for my mum, my dad, and my brothers. For me, I finally got everything settled last week, and I'm actually able to finish at MCLA. I have to take like 3 classes there over the summer, and then I'll be going to Harvard in the fall to pursue law. But my parents, I don't really know what's in the cards for them. My dad is searching for a job and hoping he finds something that he loves as much as he loves teaching here, but it's not certain. As of right now, he is applying to Penn State, so he's probably going to be living in Pennsylvania, and the rest of my family will be living up here, which is kind of devastating for us. I really love how small it is. I found my friends. I found my friends that became family here, and I made a home for myself, and I made such good connections in this community. And it was because of the professors that I met here that I was able to do that and to succeed, and to say I'm going to an Ivy League school next year is really largely in part to them. My professors here have been spectacular, to say at the least. They have taken me to Boston to view schools that I didn't think I wanted to go to. They applied to the schools for me when I didn't have the money. They invited me to dinner with their families. They took me to galas and networked with me and for me and advocated for me in ways that I couldn't advocate for myself at the time. And I'm just eternally grateful for the connections I was able to make with them and the mentorship I was able to receive from professors I never even had for classes. The community here is unlike any you'll find anywhere else. People care, and they care so much, and they take a vested interest in you and your passions. And what more could you ask for in a school?
Put on with a local group of practitioners and some holistic healers in Bennington, and we had this at the Mount Anthony Country Club a couple weekends ago on the 27th, and it was really great. We had almost 500 people come. It was another really great community event, and we had a lot of fun, so this is just a little recap of our day.
Wellness, it works. I'm fourth stage metastatic melanoma, and I should have died in the first year. Here I am, and that was 2014. I am fighting this battle with Western and Eastern modalities. I too will cross the finish line. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name's Hans, and Fernie's not here today. He has another final or class to attend. I'm here to show you guys the interview that we did on me and Isaiah. It's not supposed to be super serious. We wanted something to be like raw, uncut, and somewhat hysterical, which is kind of like what we are every day. So I hope you guys enjoy.
So I'm Isaiah Backles. I'm a senior. I ran cross country, track, and played volleyball in my time here. I was also part of the senior, Student Athletic Association Committee, Student Athletic Association Committee, also known as SAC.
He don't even know what he's talking about. But my name is Hans Resniak, and I'm a junior here at SVC. I'm a communication major, also a part of the men's volleyball team.
The school closing, it's upsetting because it doesn't really necessarily affect me because I'll be graduating, but you know, the underclassmen and the faculty and the staff, it really affects them and the community as well. So it is disappointing that the school is closing down.
As for me being a junior, it kind of impacts me just a little bit more, being that I'm so close to graduating, only one more year to go. Now I got to figure out where I'm going to go next, who's going to take my credits, if I'm going to be able to afford it. It's just a lot going on that I got to think about. And I guess like just a little bit more stress. I mean, like, yeah, in the end, if I was graduating, I'd still be pretty impacted because, like, no, like my man said, you know, no one wants to see. All right, no one wants to see. Like my man said here, nobody wants to see their school closed down. Like, whether you're graduating or not, like, it's just a sad thing.
So for me, I'm planning on to go into management. Over the summer, I had the great opportunity of working as a general manager at a landscape company I've been working for, managing softscape crew and handling a good amount of employees and scheduling. So that's hopefully going to be my plan after graduation, is to get into like management of outdoor work.
And for me, I'm just trying to find my new home. Just need to do some looking around, hopefully find a school where I can graduate within a year and a half at the most. I'm really not trying to do any more time than I have to do. Like, if you ask me, like, I look at it like this, it's like getting sentenced to 4 years. And then you're 3. And then they come to you and say, yeah, we're closing down, so you got to go to a different facility. We're also going to give you more time. Like, it's a hassle, you know. Nobody wanted to do that. Like, you told me 4 years. I've been on the same track, you know, making sure that I'm on top of my duties, and now
that's an interesting analogy you had, bro. What? That was an interesting analogy you had.
Nah, I mean, that's really how I think of it. Like, it's like getting set. Like, damn, you gonna do me like that?
No.
But yeah, hopefully I can just find the school where I can get out of here within a year and a half. That's my goal.
So this next video is my personal multimedia project video. I just made a sneaker review, or yeah, it's like a sneaker review. I used to make sneaker reviews on YouTube last year and the year before that, but it like fell off mainly because like I'm trying to juggle so much in school, so I didn't really find time to edit video. But this is a very old video that never got used. I just took a bunch of old footage and put them together and tried to recycle basically something that was never going to be used for anything. Decided to actually make it into something. So here's my little sneaker review.
What's going on YouTube? I'm back at it again with another video, and this time I'm going to be doing a review on
these Adidas Yeezy boots, 350, $750.
I got this shoe at Albany's Cross Gates Mall in this sneaker consignment shop called Laced Up. They gave me this whatever you want to call bag. Only consignment shop I've ever been to that has given me like a reusable bag.
Like a reusable bag. Like I might use this shit to go get some groceries, you know, whatever. I think it's pretty dope.
They gave me some stickers too, kind of like the Supreme box logo, except it says Laced Up in the red, and then yeah. Laced Up in the black and red. It's pretty dope. It's dope sticker. I got the shoes for a super steal. Didn't even go to the mall for shoe for buying. I went there on a low-key business trip. You know how like sneaker consignment shops, they have like that glass case? So normally like, you would find like high-end shoes, like hype shoes, like Yeezys. I was able to find them in there. Like, I didn't even see the shoe first. I seen the price. I was like, what? And then I seen the shoe in my size.
This is the box that it comes in. Easy Boost 750. The packaging itself is okay.
The shoe, on the other hand, is not fucked. It is perfectly fine, great condition.
I love the shoe so much. Like, y'all don't even understand. Like the quality on the shoe, the look of it, it's so comfortable. It's like a boot sneaker vibe with comfort, which is like, it's a weird combo, but it works. And when you go, it's really
I got it from the store. They are listed as pre-owned or MDS, so they were worn, but like I said, they sure as hell don't look like it. And the price that I found them for, like, you can't beat that price. Like my size, they're like $1,000 to like 900 or something like that. But like definitely it's a little too high for me, I guess. Like I like to budget my shoes off, and this is not a shoe I feel like spending that much bread. But after holding one of these in hand, rack is not as bad as I thought to pay for these. Like I pay a rack for these. Like these are high quality. These are, me personally, I feel like these are better than your Balenciagas, your red bottoms, all that shit. Yeah. But for right now, we're gonna be rocking with shit like this. Cause Yeezys, man, it's a super dope shoe that's super comfortable, like super comfortable. And it's like you can wear them with anything. Like you can wear these, you can wear the V2, the 350 V2s with anything. But these are like that high-end fashion classy look. You got your all brown suede upper, and I mean suede, like butter. Easy right here on your tab, on your strap, tab, Velcro. Got your little 3 stripes right here. Strap that down. Brown laces. I keep them tied like this. I don't really like how people wear them. It's weird. It's different. Each shoe has a strap on each side, and then you unzip it like that. Boom. You got your zipper right here. Some people rock it like this.
Just to let everyone know, I was sick at the time, so I sound a little muffled and that, but just bear with me.
I personally like mine zipped up with the strap on either side. I wore black jeans with these once, and you can kind of see like there's already like I guess like that dye from the denim on here. This is the Yeezy 750. Got your all gum midsole strap. So this is a classy shoe. It's like really summer. You can kind of get that like fall vibe. I mean, I'm sure you can rock these in the summer. I plan on rocking these in the summer at some point. Definitely a different shoe. Like, you kind of have to put in more time and trying to style the shoe. Got your exposed boots on the bottom right here.
You know, for a super different shoe, but low-key, I don't know. I be mistreating my shoes sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. I hope you guys like that video. I would really appreciate it if you like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you guys for tuning in.
did an interview with good old Daisy over here. We had good old respectable chat about mutual grievances over the school's closing. We were both very unhappy over the circumstances. Now, here's the kicker. I'm very terrible at basically anything involving a camera. I wouldn't even know if like a lens cap was on. Thankfully, that isn't what happened. Instead, the footage was just terrible. So, had to improvise. Again, I'm trash at this though, so, you know, it be what it be. Something I should begin with is how are you feeling like now, like with the school and everything? How the school closing? Are you alright?
I feel sad.
You feel sad?
I feel sad. I feel like I'm losing something and a lot of people. I mean, it's a lot of people use the metaphor of dying, somebody dying, which I think is, you know, I think it's appropriate, but it's also kind of grim to talk about it that way, but it's definitely a loss.
Do you feel like you were given enough time, like to, I guess, come to terms with it? Because my understanding is that everyone got the information around the same time and it kind of came out of the blue.
Everyone did get the information at the same time, and I don't know what enough time would be. You know, you asked, do I feel like I was given enough time to, I don't remember what you said, to process it or to handle it, or I don't think there would be enough time. I think it's bound to be shocking and painful. But I mean, I will say the timing isn't good because that's a tricky thing though, because it's really not, as I understand it, it's really not a person's fault about the timing. It just isn't good. And so it makes it very difficult for those of us who have to find jobs. It's obviously very difficult on the students trying to figure out where they're gonna go in such a short period of time. So it's definitely, could it happen in a way that feels okay? Is the thing I keep coming back to. It's bound to feel bad.
Have you at least been able to like find potential like new jobs or anything? So
I have a number of applications out. I don't expect to have any kind of answer about where I'll be working next until probably May or June, possibly as late as July, because that's sort of the timing of things. So there's a lot of uncertainty and unknown. There's much more that is uncertain and unknown than is known and certain. I am I'm really gonna miss SVC, and I'm gonna miss the people most of all. I mean, really, I'm gonna miss the people. The people are what make the place, and that's right now. That's the hardest thing, is thinking about how we're all just gonna sort of go off into these other directions, and there won't be a place to hold us together anymore.
because like before, even if you left, like you could come back as an alumni and like see people, but now with the school closed, like how are you going to meet with the people? How are you going to see them? Like there's still ways, but it's going to be a lot more difficult.
And I think people will, you know, people will stay connected. We have all kinds of ways to do that in the 21st century, right, with the Facebook and the social media. But it does, you know, having the place, the actual place, and also the institution and the name of the institution to connect everything together it's a big deal, and that's the hard part. Well, there are many hard parts. People keep saying that, you know, this is the hardest part, or this is the hardest part, but it's just all hard.
It's just the big hard.
It's the big hard, like the big thick.
Yes.
Being Mexican American to me means being able to embrace two cultures and having love for both cultures and not being ashamed to embrace them and be different, and also having love for both of them.
For me, being Mexican American means being able to be a part of two very beautiful and unique cultures. Growing up Mexican American, I felt that I always had to act a certain way around people in school as far as being around Americans, whereas when I'm with my family, I feel that I am more free and more vibrant. I feel that being Mexican American allowed me to grow as a person and allowed me to see both perspectives from an American and from a Mexican view. Some of the similarities and differences between Mexican and American cultures. To start, I believe food is a big similarity between the both cultures. Mexicans love to make traditional and home-cooked meals for their families. Also in America, food is a really big thing.
The difference that I would say between a Mexican American culture is that Mexicans are very family oriented, and even to those who aren't family but are very close, they're very loyal to them and they care very much about them. They will do pretty much a lot for them.